Happy Sunday, folks. Today is, like I said, Sunday. We're having whole roasted chicken today. I'm going to cook it in this cast iron skillet. I went ahead and gave my chicken a rinse because it was in blood and gross. I don't usually rinse my meat, but chickens and turkeys I do. I rinsed it inside, got all the got the neck and the giblets or whatever was inside out. And then I tried to dry it off as much as I could because we're going to put butter all over the outside. And the butter won't stick if you don't. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently move the skin from the meat. You've got to do it gently or you're going to rip the skin. Okay, so why do we pat the skin dry? If we don't pat the skin dry, the butter's not going to stick to it. All it's going to do is slide off onto your fingers. So anyway, I took my ring off so I did not break the skin. And if I do break it, it's not intentional. I didn't mean it. So just pretend that I didn't. So I'm going to flip this over. I don't think you can do it. It's going to roast this side up. So we'll start spreading the butter on this side first. And then we'll season it up after we spread the butter on it. Just going to pat it dry. Like this. And then see, here's the compound butter that I had left. I took it out and let it soften up a bit, so it should be a little bit easier to spread. So I seasoned my chicken up on this side. I put some butter on. I'm going to take it out of the pan for a minute, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bed of sliced onions on the bottom just so the chicken is not directly on the skillet. So we're just kind of do this, kind of put a bed there. All right, and then I'm going to flip my chicken over. And I realize some of the butter might fall off, but that's okay because it's gonna go right under it, and then we are going to baste this chicken as it goes. So that's all right. Now let's do this side. We're going to get some of that butter up under the skin. Now this chicken is absolutely huge. I'm not sure why they gave me such a huge chicken, but whatever. I'm going to make it work. It'll probably last us a couple meals, or maybe I'll make chicken salad with the leftovers. Okay, so right now I'm just pushing the butter under the skin so it gets near the meat. And it did kind of tear right here, but that's all right. We'll just pretend that it didn't. Get some over here by the legs, or let's get some on the legs. We're going to put it over here. We're going to kind of move it around like that. I'm going to kind of wipe dry the top. The butter is under the skin for the most part. I'm going to try to just kind of dollop this on the top. Kind of like this, kind of just like set it. It's not exactly spreading on the skin. It's probably not soft enough, but that's okay. Because once I baste it, it'll come on. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stuff this chicken now. I know a lot of people don't believe in stuffing a chicken, but I do. My son does not like stuffing, so I'll put some potatoes in the pan in a minute for him. Okay, so I went ahead and made the stuffing already. Now, a lot of people don't stuff it because they said it doesn't get cooked all the way, but this chicken's gonna go in the oven for at least 2 hours, so it's gonna get pretty well cooked. So I'm just gonna stuff as much as I can into the cavity. Real good. I might actually just melt this butter and kind of rub it on there just to get it a little tiny bit softer because it's not really staying on top like I want it to, So gonna stuff this as much as I can get in there. I love stuffing. I do not know why my child does not like it. He's a weirdo, but I guess we all like different things, right? I have a little bit of kitchen twine here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm gonna tie it around here like that. I'm gonna come over here and kind of just tie the legs together. You know, it's not as easy as it looks on Food Network, I'll tell you that. Okay, so but I'll get it. Okay, see how the legs are kind of tied now? That should be good enough. So here's my beautiful chicken. I did melt that butter. I went ahead and melted it so it would be easier for me just to put on it. I'm just gonna kind of rub it around. It's not hot, so I'm not burning myself or anything. Kind of tuck these wings in right here. Looks so good. And then when I'm done with the butter, I'm gonna season this side like I season the outside. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the oven for an hour and bake it covered, and then the next hour I'm going to bake it is going to be uncovered. And then I will put some potatoes in it for my son. So let me wash my hands and I'll be right back to finish seasoning it. So this is super similar to the way that I do my turkey at Thanksgiving. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and season it up with all my seasonings. Just like I did the other side. We got some seasoned salt here. I'm gonna add a little bit of paprika. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. And then finally I'm gonna add some pepper. Oh, that looks good. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna grab my foil. And then I'm gonna take some foil and cover this chicken with it. And it's gonna go in the oven for 1 hour at 400. The chicken has been in the oven for an hour, so let's take a look at it. It's looking good. Looks like my skin kind of shrunk back there some, but that's okay. Now there is a lot of liquid in here. So I think I'm I'm gonna baste my chicken first. And then I'm going to remove some of this liquid. On my little spoon. Let's get some of that butter on there. That is a lot of butter. I should have expected that. Because of the compound butter, but I need to get a smaller spoon. I'll be back in just a second. All right, so let's baste this chicken some. Kind of just tilt the pan. Get it over there. Guys, remember cast iron is super hot, so don't burn yourself like I just did on my finger. There we go. Now I'm kind of sad that my skin did break, but you know, what are you gonna do, right? All right, so I'm gonna cut up some potatoes now. All right, so I basted my chicken. I cut up a few potatoes, and I'm just gonna kind of place them around my chicken like this. And I think I'm also going to throw in some carrots because I have some carrots that I need to use up. So that'll be good. That should be plenty of potatoes because it's just my son and I probably won't eat a whole lot of potatoes. I will be right back. Let me get some carrots. Actually, let me just grab them real fast. I do like to buy the pre-cut baby carrots because they're super convenient. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna grab some and throw them around like I did the potatoes. So here is my chicken. I'm gonna kind of mix the potatoes and carrots in that little butter that's at the bottom. I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning to them, just so they go, but I wanna get them coated in this little butter first. That way I know they're not gonna burn, hopefully, and they'll cook up nice. Let's see. Oops. Might have to move some of these around. There we go. All right, let me season these up. All right, so everything's seasoned up well. I'm gonna go ahead and just baste with a little bit more of this butter. Then it's going to go back into the oven for 1 more hour. And by then the chicken should be perfectly cooked, and we should be ready to eat by then. It smells really good. I wish I could smell everything because it is just so fragrant. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in the oven now. Get those potatoes all in the oil. I'm gonna put just a little bit of pepper on these, a little bit of salt. There we go. Now we're gonna go back in the oven, uncovered. The chicken is all finished. You ready to see this beauty? I need to find my hot pad because this pan is very hot. I took it out of the oven and I tented it with foil just to let it rest for a minute. I want you to see how beautiful this chicken is. Look at that. Let's see if I can get a better view. My potatoes are all finished. Look at them. They're yummy and crispy looking. Doesn't look as greasy as it did. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this chicken out of this skillet and I'm going to, well actually I can probably cut it up in the skillet. So let's see, I want you to see how tender this is. Look at it. I'm gonna cut the string I tied the legs together with. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and carve this chicken up. I'm gonna cut, my son likes white meat, so I'm gonna cut the breast off the chicken right here. Look at that, looks so good. I'm gonna cut it sideways right here. I'm gonna take it off and slice it. Okay, so I carved the chicken. I have got a leg and a thigh. My son has got breasts, and I'm going to get the vegetables out now. Now, he does not want any stuffing. He does not eat it, so he will just get potatoes and carrots, and I will eat stuffing and carrots because I love stuffing. Some of these onions from the bottom. Remember the onions that I put on the bottom? I'm trying to find my favorite part of the chicken. Where is it? It's a little butt part. Here it is. I'm crazy, but I love that little, oops. I'm gonna get this part right here.